Moses is here with our first look at sports. What do you think of the whole Lance Armstrong thing?
Oh, a little disheartening.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a big Lance fan. I was actually, you know, he got me into cycling in the Tour de France when he started. So when he got those 7 championships, it was for me exciting to watch. At least cycling, I wasn't that big into it, but I don't know. Admission of guilt. We'll see.
It's hard to say.
What he's done for cancer in terms of the fight and the money he's raised, the research. You can't deny he's still a good guy and what he's done.
Yeah, that will not go unnoticed.
No, but you know, from one bad thing to another, we've had well,
Not
the weather
the
issues.
day.
No, especially for the CPCA finals. But there is some good news, however. We have some highlights for you from day 2, and there are some exciting races. The tension built at the CPCA finals as time is running out for drivers, hopefully to qualify for the championship truck.
Captain of the famous Notre Dame Hounds.
By winning day money, he was hooked against the rest of the top 4. Again, Devin Mitzwing appeared to win the heat, but was assessed a 1-second penalty to fall back. Nolan's time of 1:21.21 was good enough for 6th on the day. He leads the aggregate. The fastest group of the night was Heat 7. Lane Bremner had barrel 1 and used it to his advantage, grabbing the reel to keep Ray Mitzwing, Ross Knight, and Jamie Labicane at a distance. Bremner opened up a huge lead on the back stretch. He's the only man to go under 120 this week. As he wins day money, Bremner jumps into 8th in the aggregate and moves within 6 points of a final 4 spot and a chance for that championship.
My goal is to finish in the top 8 points this year, and if we get in the top 4 is a bonus, and if we do get in there, we'll just try to give the biggest run we can.
Story of the night had to come from Heat 5. Dallas Stick sitting at 16.5 points out of the final spot for Calgary. Had a tremendous run on Wednesday. Well, it didn't have it. Well, he did have it again last night. He crossed the line at 1:21.16. It'd be good enough for another top 6 finish, but he was assessed a 4-second in outriding penalties, ending his Calgary chase.
Had a really good run. Would have been 5th or 6th in D monies and 2nd in the aggregate, but I guess stuff happens. Just wish it wouldn't happen here. So.
Expect the best and prepare for the worst.
Brian Labicane, Ross Knight, Rob Van Eaton, and Devin Mitzwing, as well as Vern Nolan, are the top 5 in the aggregate. Now let's move on. It's been popular for the last 17 years in the southern United States. Now the sport of mounted shooting is starting to take off north of the border, making its debut in Lloydminster.
It's relatively new in Canada, and for those involved in mounted shooting, it can be simply described as
the horse race with guns. It's awesome.
It's kind of like the old romantic Western event.
It's a touch on the Old West. If you like to ride horses, you like guns, this is a natural.
Over 60 participants, both men and women, are involved in the 3-day event in Lloydminster, the largest of its kind in Canada.
We've got shooters from Calgary, Edmonton, Peace River, Slave Lake, Rocky Mountain House, McGrath, all over. All the top shooters in Canada are here.
The rules are simple. Shooters go round a course while
we take one .45 Colt, shoot a random pattern at the first 5, then we switch guns, take the other 5 out. It's all on time. It's a 5-second penalty if you miss a balloon.
Duncan McMillan manages the Border Cowboy Mounted Shooters, a club located in Vermilion. McMillan has seen a spike in the number of those joining his club and the sport.
Interest is phenomenal.
To find couples or families competing is not uncommon, like Kevin and Heather Mathieson.
Originally we got involved by both my parents, my mom and dad, and my older brother started shooting down in the United States while they're down there in Arizona. And about 1.5 years ago, my wife and I took up the sport as well, and we've been shooting as much as we can ever since.
We started doing rodeos this year, so it's really, this is our first year doing it together, and we get to do it as a whole family. We have an 8-year-old and a 4-year-old that have also started, and they use cat guns to do it, so it's really fun because the whole family gets to do it.
The event will run through till Sunday. Moses Wilde, Newcap Sports.
Well, there you go. The Lloydminster Bobcats continue their preseason, playing their second of a home-and-home with the Bonneville Pontiacs. The veterans will be in action tonight, this time around 7 p.m. at RJ Lalonde Arena. The final 5 days of racing are the toughest week of the CPCA Tour. The pressure of moving up the standings is a burden on any outfit. As Emmett Murphy reports, this week's unpredictable weather has kicked up the tension up a notch.
Drivers prepare their horses all year to have the endurance for the final showdown at Lloydminster. But this wet and cloudy weather has created a slow and mucky track, pushing the horses to their limits.
It's harder on horses. I mean, it saps their strength when they got to plow through deep mud and water, for a few days. So, hopefully you can change a few out and give them a rest here or there, so they're a little bit fresher come the end.
The thick track is causing many of the drivers to adjust their strategy on the fly.
I want to run clean. When it's wet like this, my rule is take them an extra jump past the top barrel, just to be sure.
Changes our hooking totally. We were kind of planning on going with pretty much the same outfits all weekend, but with the heavy running and the horses are getting a little more tired, so we're going to have to try to, put different horses in that we weren't really planning on hooking.
Especially in these heavy conditions and that. I said it before in an interview before the races, it's not going to be a barreling game, it's going to be caretaking.
The drenched dirt won't just change the outfits drivers use, but can also switch which barrel is the preferred route in the final dash Sunday.
If it's a wet track, I don't think one barrel is going to be the one to have.
Obviously the rail's going to be heavier, and the longer the rain goes on, the deeper the infield gets, so the tougher it is to turn off the inside barrels, because the outside ones are up on harder ground and they're shorter, so you can turn quicker and you're going the other way. So that's the biggest change, is where the best running is going to be on the track.
Vern Nolan remains atop the standings. Devin Mitswing has moved a half point ahead of BJ Carey for second, while Brian Labakane clings on to a 3-point advantage over Jamie Labakane for fourth. Emmett Murphy, Newcap Sports.
Hockey arenas across the city are beginning to get flooded for the new season, which is posing a major problem for the Angels of Assault roller derby team. As of now, the team is practicing at the service center, but they may be without an arena as early as September.
I grew up in really trying to find a location that we can practice in the winter, and right now we're having a lot of problems finding that place, and every week we get a new girl that comes and joins our team, and it's going to be really hard to maintain that if we can't find a place to practice. If we don't practice in the winter, we cannot play next year, so we really need to find a place.
The Angels of Assault are looking for a 5,000 square foot warehouse with any surface except for carpet, but will use a smaller venue if it means they'll have a place for the winter.
But we need to practice for at least 2 times a week. 3 would be much better, but so about an hour and a half, we need to find a place for that.
All players are insured and willing to pay a rental fee for hourly use. If anyone in the arena is willing to rent it out, you can call Shailene at 780-205-9595.